What is going on? You are listening to episode 231 of the Nintendo Powercast. I'm your host, N64 Josh, and player 2 today is a very, very special guest. This is a very special episode. We're going to talk about some very important things. Anastasia, Staten, from the We Are Initiative. How are you?
I'm doing great. Nice to see you. I haven't seen you since E3.
I know. And it's so much easier to talk now. It's a lot less quiet. Right, or a lot more quiet. It was way loud there.
Quiet.
Yeah, it was.
But for some reason, I'm still hoarse, so I'm really confused.
Yeah, You're saying the allergies are kind of a little bad today, huh? It's just
they are. So I can't blame all the ambient E3 noise on losing my voice this time. But I'm happy to be here today, man. Thanks for having me.
Yes. I'm really excited to have this conversation. We're talking about some things that are pretty important to me, and I'm excited to introduce hopefully my community to you and to what you do and what this is about, and hopefully we can see more and more people get involved with it. Let's just kind of start at the beginning with you. Like, what is the We Are Initiative, and kind of just break it down for us.
Sure. So if you don't mind, I'll actually start with the ESA Foundation. So I'm also the executive director of ESA Foundation, and We Are is actually an initiative under our foundation. And the foundation, two of the big things that we do is provide educational opportunities for kids leveraging video games. And we also have a scholarship fund for women and minorities who want to get into video game arts and sciences. So a couple of years ago, we were like, we really want to amp up the mission of our scholarship fund. We want to take it beyond just the scholarship experience and really engage the community, and also create an ambassador and sort of a role model programming to kind of connect a lot of the stuff that we're doing in after-school programming to the college programming, but then also just seeing more and more girls and other minorities wanting to get involved in creating games and really inspire that next generation.
I love this. I have two daughters.
Oh,
and
I didn't know that.
Yeah, two daughters, and I have two boys also. I'm busy, but but yeah, two daughters, and I mean they've been gamers ever since I can remember, right? Whether it's playing like Animal Crossing on their DS, or I mean they would hand me a controller every time I would come home from work and be like, it's time to play Mario, right? And but even they like shooters, playing Destiny, or I don't know if they played much Fortnite yet, but things like that. So I mean, I'm all about this. I'm all about this. And if you guys are only listening, you're missing out on the Mario getting a kiss from Peach on Anastasia's shirt. It is like classic Mario art, and I love it. So
it's one of my favorite. I had several to choose from this morning, but I picked this one for you.
I like it. So very good. Well, let's talk about how this came to be. Where did it all originate from?
Like I was saying, we really wanted to kind of amp up that scholarship fund and really just kind of blow it out. And we found a beautiful partner in Red Bull. We just kind of started out really organically, sort of working together and connecting over some really great community things that are happening, like engaging with the Smash Sisters in their tournaments out in California, Combo Queens, Northern Cal Combo Queens, and just really sort of engaging. And we found that both of us had this sort of shared desire and shared passion and experience for creating positive game culture. And for us, we not only wanted to create positive game culture, but we wanted to extend that into encouraging more and more individuals with diverse stories and diverse backgrounds to actually create games. So between those two things, we kind of came together, and it was, for lack of a better term, sort of a perfect marriage. And we created We Are, and we have had this amazing, we're in our almost third year, 2.5-year partnership of creating sort of this ambassador and role model program to connect women that are already in the industry and also inspire that next generation.
I can't stress enough how much I love hearing this stuff. This is really cool. What kind of hurdles have you guys had to deal with?
Honestly, I mean, other than, the typical thing like paperwork, uh, is always fun. But, we really haven't encountered any barriers. And I think even we found that shocking, to be honest with you,
Hmm.
because one of the things that we have as a part of We Are is this amazing gallery of over 200 women profiled, everyone ranging from streamers and content creators to esports makeup artists to sound engineering to marketing and legal and level designers, just a really big gambit. I mean, it is a $43 billion industry. There are a lot of people that have to support creating these games and creating the community around it. And we have those women in the gallery, and we've taken the gallery on the road and had the opportunity to go to events like E3, but also to PlayStation Experience, to Capcom Cup, to Red Bull Battlegrounds and Conquest. And we really did prepare ourselves for thinking, you know, how are the attendees at these conferences going to perceive this? Is it going to be received positively? And I'll be very honest with you, we were ready for bear. We were ready for some not positive exchanges and positive experiences. And on one hand, I kind of want to say shame on us for not having more faith in the communities, because particularly the FGC community, they have been so welcoming to us and having us at their tournaments. And one of the most awe-inspiring things for me has been when individuals, particularly males, fathers, boyfriends, have come into our space and learned about what it is. They have walked away saying, "Thank you for doing this. I'm going to tell my daughter about this. This is what she wants to do. I'm going to go get my girlfriend. She's across the room doing something else, and I want her to come back here and see this, and I want you to talk to her," because we're helping reinforce that their voices are valuable. They belong in this community, and people are welcoming of them and want them here.
Yeah, I love it. I think when we met, I was showing you stats on my YouTube channel, and less
I
than
know.
1% of my view of at least, and I don't know how YouTube gets their stats, but less than 1% were female viewers, right?
I know, and you were so sad about that, and it made me so sad. But I was so grateful to you for paying attention to that,
Mm.
because that's part of the culture change, and that's a part of creating this inclusive culture that we all talk about and that we all seem to want so much, is that having dialogues like the one you and I are having right now, but also sort of paying attention to some of those. I don't want to boil it down to metrics and measurements and almost creating this nameless, faceless conversation, but they can be indicators of what's going on. So we're grateful for individuals like you who are paying attention to that and trying to find ways to create more diversity in your content and for your audience members.
Yeah, I mean, for me, the whole, like, the idea of a boys club with games, it's always bothered me, right? It's always just been like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, the more, I mean, there's so many different ways to look at it, but even just looking at it like from a business perspective, the more people that are buying games, the better the companies are going to do, the more they're going to be able to provide for us, right? Like,
Yeah.
but
Well, it's a lot about any equity conversation out there that's happening right now. When you don't include women and you don't include other segments of society, you really do lose. You see purchasing power lost. You see revenues lost, and I hope that there are successful examples of inclusive entertainment and art that show individuals that there is a pathway to make money from this. And I know that a lot of companies that we have the fortune of dealing with, PlayStation is a really great example. Sean Layden, the chairman of Sony Interactive, he's done several interviews where he's talked about the importance and longevity of their business is diverse storytelling. And I think everyone in the community really does want that, and they are striving for it. But it definitely, not to say a cliche, but it's going to take a village.
yeah, yeah. But you said 2 to 3 years into this, do you feel like there is a shift?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, across the board, who knows? That's a big measuring stick.
Sure.
But, in little areas that we know that we work, you look at our scholarship program, for example, which started in '07. And then in 2008, we started working with the Higher Education Video Game Alliance to track female graduation rates in game design programs. So from '08 to last year, that number almost tripled. So when I look at that, that's positive. And when you look at a granular level, like a university program like USC, a couple years ago, the first time in their history was more female entering freshmen than males. So to me says those numbers may be moving in small amounts, but they are moving.
Yeah, this is amazing to hear. One of the things I did a few years back, you just got me thinking about it, is I was crazy when it comes to podcasting, and I did 30 podcasts in 30 days.
You were passionate, not crazy.
Yeah,
passionate, dedicated.
Okay. Yeah. And what I did is I interviewed indie developers. And thinking back now, there may have been half of them that were female. And some of them there was like two sisters that just quietly made games together, and they just put them up, or maybe like voice actors and things like that. Like there was an encouraging number of females throughout those calls, right?
Yeah.
But I'm which that's great. I love hearing though that like more female freshmen, like that's so, it's so good, and it makes me, it's going to bring more diversity to the storytelling and to the way the games are designed and things like that. Like we're all going to benefit from this. Like it's going to be
you're going to have more content.
Yeah.
You're going to have more diverse content. You're going to have, by diverse also meaning you'll have more things to choose from, and you'll also get to expand beyond things that you may never even have known that were of interest to you. It's just like, I think about it sometimes like movies and games, like someone will tell me, say, a storyline or tell me the name title, I'm like, okay, yeah, whatever. And then I watch the trailer and I'm like, okay, maybe I need to play that game. But that's partly because you're starting to tell me a story, right?
Yeah.
And so the more stories that you can interest me in and capture my imagination and capture, and also games too anymore, is the innovation and the technology mixed with, the art is just amazing. So as technology changes and emerges even further, but then you get this diverse storytelling, like, I'm only going to benefit from it. We only benefit in creating more memorable experiences when we have that diversity. So it's kind of a win-win because you're going to get more things to choose from that you're going to love. And some you won't.
Yeah, and that's okay too, though, right?
Yeah.
Like it's fun. Like not everything has to be for me or for like there's. That's the beauty of it, really. Like something may really resonate with somebody, and that's awesome, and that's good that it resonates with them. It's okay if we don't, which I think a lot of times, especially in gaming culture, you see that a lot. Like you just see a lot of toxicity, people complaining, things like, when something's not for them, and it's like, it's okay to move on, right? It's okay. It's all right. And, and again, like I was saying with those interviews and things like that I did, like there was a strong passion, from all those developers, whether they were male or female. There was a passion to create, to tell stories, and let's get everyone involved. Like I said, we are all going to benefit from this. It's a good thing. So what does the future hold for We Are?
Yeah. So I'm really excited. The short-term future, which is next weekend, we're actually packing ourselves up and we're heading down to Orlando for Red Bull Conquest kickoff. So that's going to be amazing in partnership with Red Bull, but also with Full Sail. we're working with all of the game design programs in the area, Central Florida, a few other schools, and then having representatives from companies like EA, who are right there in Orlando. They've got a huge studio there. Bringing some of those folks over and having a networking session, resume review, but then also allowing some time for those women to actually also be a part of the tournament and contribute to the culture and the diversity of the attendees. So that's kind of just short term, just a little fun thing that we are doing. But long term, one of the things that we're looking at by long term, I shouldn't even say long term, before the end of the year, we're actually looking to start another scholarship fund, and this one more focused on esports. And I'm super excited about that, and hopefully we'll have that rolled out in the next couple of months. And it's going to be a really wonderful complement to the scholarship fund that we already have for women and minorities who are on more of the development side, the arts and sciences. So I'm just really looking forward to that and actually finding a way to empower them with not only our network, but also the amazing financial support that we have from Red Bull, but then also from the entire industry to help make their dreams come true.
Can you go into a little bit more detail with the esports scholarship? Like, what are some of the things that people are what are they going to be going to school for when it comes to esports?
Yeah, so a couple of things. One, there are a few programs across the country, sports management programs, that are starting to create esports management certificates. As you look at the rise of the teams and things like that, that's very much an emerging area. So it's not only about helping change the culture at, say, a player level and a community level, but also a management level. Those individuals are helping drive the culture and decisions at the executive level as much as we are at a community level. So we're sort of looking at that, but we're also looking to help empower students who are playing collegiately or at possibly at a club level to further their career in video game arts and sciences as well, maybe with a particular focus on STEM. I know if you look at women, I should say girls, who play video games, they're 3 times more likely to study STEM careers. So we really kind of want to find that sweet spot and hopefully nurture that in them in their college years. And do we hope they'll all come to work in the video game industry? Yeah, we do. But for us and our mission, quite frankly, it's more important that we're empowering them, giving them 21st century skills to meet the workforce demands of our economy now.
You've been at a number of different events. You've talked with a number of people, I'm sure. Do you have some people that, like, just as you're even like bringing this stuff up, they're just like, I had no idea, right? I had no idea about the options or the opportunities, right? Yeah. Can you share a little bit about just about that?
You know, I think that one story I really love is a couple of years ago, my phone rang, and it was one of those situations where you're about to walk out the door of the office, and you're like, "Ooh, do I answer it? Do I not?" I mean, you've got your purse on, you're ready to go.
Yeah, right.
And it's like, well, if I leave it to voicemail, I'll have to deal with it tomorrow. I'll just do it now. And it was a mother calling me to thank me for her son's scholarship over the last several years, because she had just got his graduation papers, and he was graduating summa cum laude from SCAD, Savannah Art and Design. And she said that being from Arkansas, they had no idea about all these opportunities. And I later talked to her and I said, well, I've now learned since talking to you, even parents in California don't know about all these opportunities. But she said that it really was a teacher who challenged him in the 6th grade to say what he wanted to be. And he just got on the internet and, basically found the ESA Foundation, saw these kind of career opportunities and the scholarship that they were talking about. And since the 6th grade, he held on to that. And then when he got to senior in high school, he applied for a scholarship and is now in his first year in an incubator program. So that's kind of like a long story to just say, there are so many people out there that don't understand what the opportunities are, and they just end up stumbling across them somehow on the internet, by chance, meeting of someone. So that is one thing that we want We Are to do, regardless of gender, regardless of any of those other things. We want it to serve as a blueprint for showing kids and their parents the opportunities in the industry. I mean, the starting salary is almost $100,000. So they're good paying jobs. They are amazing opportunities. And that's just more with inside what we think of as a traditional game company that doesn't take into account this huge community of career opportunities like the one that you have and that other individuals have to take their love of video games and turn it into a career.
Yeah. That's really great to hear. And I'm hoping as this goes out, we're going to see, who knows,
Yes!
maybe a few years down the road, I'll get a tweet or somebody from hey,
You will. You will. I know you will. You will. You will.
And even encouraging my kids to look into it further, So, which kind of gets me to the last question. How can we get involved? Like, what can we do to, one, like, maybe help spread the word, but two, I mean, is it like, if we've got kids, can we, like, is there things we could do within schools or anything like that to kind of, like, help spread the word? What are the best ways?
Yeah. I think what you're doing is one of the ways. Using your own voice and using your own platform to have these conversations, I think, is one of the most powerful things that we can do, because I can talk my head off all day long, but what you're doing with your platform is really important. Encourage anyone to visit the website, wearevideogames.org, to check out the profiles, share them, but then also to nominate someone to be a part of our ambassador program, and sign up for the newsletter, because you'll learn about events. That's one way. But then when you talk about schools, I think there are some simple ways that all of us can participate. It doesn't have to be this big thing. It doesn't have to be this, massive curriculum. Again, it goes back to role models. If you see it, you can be it. If you hear about it, you can dream about it. So if parents can take the opportunity to participate in career days, reaching out to us and ask for representatives for your career days, we are open to that. We think it's important, and we're happy to not only try to maybe provide a resource, but to also encourage all of the parents to participate in those career days as well.
Okay. You guys have heard it. And you're going to have we'll make sure to get a handful of links and everything, so that, like, we can, hopefully equip we call them the NPC fam, the Nintendo Powercast fam. So, to go forth and just, help spread the word about this, because it really is cool. And I mean, even just, like, the conversation we had at E3, like, I was talking with some of the ambassadors from, like, some of the Nintendo ambassadors, and some of the conversations they had trying to talk about a game, like the female ambassadors anyway, they were shut down by guys, almost giving the, like, oh, you shouldn't talk, like, you don't know what you're talking, like, and, like, to see gaming culture kind of just change, to hear that you didn't have you guys have not had, like, a super negative experience. To me, it tells me one thing, that when you show up in person, all of a sudden people get a little nicer. They're a little less courageous without their screen to hide behind.
Well, and also, you know what? This isn't nameless and faceless.
Right. Yes.
You want to talk about it? We're here to talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, it's just, like I said, the whole thing gets me excited. I look forward to the day of, like, getting into a lobby in, let's just say, in the new Halo game, and have, half the voices be ladies, without them having to worry about getting picked up on. You know what I mean? Or like stuff like that. It's time for this stuff to change, and you guys are doing it, and I love it. I appreciate it, and hope I can do whatever I can to help it. So
it takes us, it takes you, it takes everyone. So
exactly.
Hopefully we all can contribute, and we'll create some real change.
Cool. All right. Well, hey, to wrap this thing up, can you just even say a couple of the places where maybe people can, maybe a website or two, or if you have a Twitter or anything like that you'd like to get out there?
Sure. We are videogames.org, ESA Foundation Scholars.org. So if you're interested in a scholarship or meeting our 35 scholars this year, I ask you to head over there and check us out on Facebook, ESA_Foundation.
Perfect. All right. Guys, thank you so much for listening to episode 231. Again, this was just kind of a special episode here, and we will see you for our regularly scheduled program on Monday. Bye now.